Good evening, you slags. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 29, Race 8. And we're back at Silverstone, but this time, like most of the drivers, we're backwards. And I'm a big fan of Silverstone, like most other drivers. Good evening, Keezer. Good evening, Terry's. Good evening, Jax. We've got some fans watching just for some action and some getting some tips for the race. And like Silverstone last week, it's back-to-back wet quali. It's wetter than two mermaids scissoring. Absolutely chucking it down like Terry says. But no other drivers should be able to navigate this better than the quality that we have in Div 1. We've got 16 on the grid. One or two missing again this week. I think we've got a few people away on holiday. We've got Jax jumping onto his Terry lover. Abba lover. It's Terry lover. We are missing Shaggy, of course, but he can be back in one form or another. Shaggy. And drivers having to navigate the Silverstone circuit in a completely different way. Had it in last season's calendar and it was such a delight to watch. Terry Lover's back. Yo, yo, yo. And yeah, it was such a good race to watch. Callum, of course, was the cream of the crop, but there's a good battle beneath him. Callum leading the way in the championship, not by much for both Div 1 and Platinum, but his main challenger, D, is missing, unfortunately, but gives the opportunity for others like an Adam, like a Luckiest, like a Theo, a Brutus, a Portuguese, all to get themselves and try and get themselves with their name in lights. But the first person that has their name in sparkles is Brutus Spear on the inters. Some drivers going out on the wets, but he's doing his first hot lap on the inters, and we'll jump on and see how he gets on as he goes down the Hamilton straight for the start of the lap. Goes round turn 1 and 2 of Club, a tight left hander on that turn 2, and then flick round for Vale, open up that throttle, climb uphill to go round the quick left-hander of Stowe, where normally it can be almost flat out, but it's very tricky conditions, no run-off area, and that's the tricky thing about the reverse order, the reverse direction of the circuit, is that the very quick corners of Stowe and Copse do not have the run-off areas that you'd expect, so it makes those corners even more trickier. Coming out of Beckett's and Maggots as we approach Copse, turn 10, where you want to go as wide as possible without going across track restrictions. As you can see, it's just grass, no run-off area. There would be DRS if it was dry conditions as we go round Woodcote, and then the left-hander of Luffield, where it's a lot more tighter, and we'll be seeing one or two overtaking opportunities during the race. Round the right-hander of Brooklands to open up the throttle down the Wellington straight. No DRS, as the DRS is after Copse in this direction. Very quick right-hander round Aintree, and then slow right down to navigate Loop, the slowest part of the circuit. Round left of Village, turn 16, and then it can be flat out. Right-hander of turn 17, and then flat out round Abbey. Again, no run-off area into the grass, and it's a 1:43.1, so tentative from Brutus at the start, but it's just showing how tricky the conditions are. As next across the line is Ted Head, back with us on the wets, 43.5, so only 4 tenths with the tyre difference, but I'm pretty sure we'll see Ted Head go on to the inters. Raki 45.9, very tentative from him. Is Luckiest in the Alpine, only a tenth behind. Brutus is on provisional pole. Theo in the Mercedes goes up to provisional P4, 43.9, so he's gone on the wets as well. I think we'll see him go on to the inters. Oh, tentative from Callum as well. He's has about to dial in first lap, so it shows how good Brutus' first run was. Wesker P6 44.8 filling in for his teammate and Div 1 driver. Caps lock. Catamies in the Aston. Back with us again in Div 1. Put a big show in last week and he's doing it again this week. Provisional P3 representing Dan Morris. As Portuguese in the Ferrari 43.6 was missing last week. But let's see what he can do. This time as Benji in the Mercedes. Getting some points on, joining Theo. And filling in for AJ. So we've got 1 or 2 Div 2 boys again. Filling out the grids, but they've been shown that they're no slouches. As Brutus going around for another lap. Can he improve? Not yet, so a bit drivers just doing a warm down lap, refilling their batteries to do another lap. And what you find with inters and wet runs is that drivers are fueled up to do many runs, not like runs in their pants. Big Racky goes P10 as we see luckiest provisional pole 42.2, so good 9/10 ahead of Brutus. So luckiest has found his mojo. Michael on his first run. Davy Kim on the wets, first hot lap on the board, P13 45.7. Wesker's next across the line. He's doing a recharge lap. Cat's also recharge lap. So yeah, we're finding 1 or 2 just and then go themselves going again as Keys is actually on a lap. As we've lost at Haas. And P14 for Keyser. Portuguese doesn't improve. He's on a recharge lap, so here's in the pits. What's his teammate doing? Benji going for another run and starting. Bruce is invalidated, so he's had to go in the pits. So pushing hard these drivers as Ted Head. Currently P4 provisional pole in the elite. Had some, and up to P2 42.8. Storming up a fastest final sector there from Ted Head. Portuguese invalidated. His teammate Clen goes P7 44.3. As Michael got on the wrong Sauber, but Michael up to P7. As Callum gets himself on the front row, 42.2. Just 300ths behind luckiest on provisional pole. So he's found a lap, but still not good enough. As he came into the pits. He's got some smelly pits. That's Benji just doing... no, it wasn't. But Benji has got the fastest middle sector. Let's jump back on with Keyser though. Can he get himself off the bottom? Up to P14. I think he'll be quite content just doing some practice for the Div 2 race. Portuguese is going again. He's invalidated. He's got more fuel in the tank. Let's jump back on with Benji, who's found 1.7 seconds. P5 for the standing Div 2. 43.1. And these Div 2 boys are proving to be no slouches. Big Racky leading the way in the elite, especially with no jacks. You're looking to extend at the top, but he's got big competition into the pits for him. Fans go around again. One of those ones challenging Racky, and he's challenging up to P6. Great qualifying there as luckiest gets into the 141s. A good second ahead of Callum. Luckiest is needed this sort of week. He's been up and down. And you've got to say, he's liking these wet conditions, as we'll keep an eye on. Adam Mako jumps ahead of his teammate onto the second row. 42.3, a tenth behind Callum. And what a lap that was, as Katames is starting his flying lap. Katz is next across the line. Didn't improve position. We need a meow meow motherfucker. As Portuguese has found 1.2 seconds at the moment. Is it enough to get himself on the front row? It is, above Callum. P2 is still 6 tenths behind Luckiest. You see drivers just doing plenty of laps. As that's Benji coming round again, starting another hot lap. Let's jump on his teammate then, who's found 2 seconds. So the track conditions improving as every lap goes by. It's going to be one of those ones that whoever's on the track the last and nails it will take that pole. At the moment, Theo's in P11. If he carries on this lap, he's going to be up there fighting for that pole. Round the final corner, Abbey. Front row, 41.2, and there's only a tenth now behind Luckiest. Adamako's found some more time. Back-to-back laps for him. At this rate, he's going to get himself above Callum. Round Abbey, pushing the limits. And does P4, 41.7. David Kim still at the rear, but his teammate, as Wesker goes up to P6. Katames ahead of Portuguese, 41.7. Next is a Haas of Katz, P6. We've still got 5.5 minutes to go. And I cannot tell you now the order of the grid. Rels is cheering on Ted to get P2. He did in the quali as Brutus goes up to P2, 41.2. 500s ahead of Theo. Keys are up to P13. Ted heads P10 now with his cheerleaders. And drops down to P11 as Benji crosses the line. Raki needs to find some time. He hasn't pumped some laps in like he normally does. What can that Callum do? He's on an out lap. Let's have a watch of Callum. And if he messes up, he'll be on camera. Coming out of turn 3. He's definitely one to watch, and he's under pressure. Last week's quali completely messed up his coming out of when he came out for quali. He came out too early and he got pipped to pole by Amadi. Davy Kim, great lap up to P12 for the Aston driver, and he'll be one of those ones looking for some points on the board. He still has zero points. Brutus coming round again. And Brutus provisional pole 44. Wow. Rel says Ted for P1. I don't think so with laps like that from Brutus. As Ted Head gets his LP2 actually, 40.8. These track conditions are ramping up. 3 seconds to go. Callum's just coming round Village. Just drifting, loses a bit of traction. He's pushing as much as he can. He's in the pit, so he's messed up. He's going to have to come back out again. He's feeling the pressure, Callum, here, P10. Michael currently holding up the orders, invalidated. Another one feeling the pressure. Davy Kim, 10th and a half up. As he's in the final sector, coming round loop, tiptoeing in the torrentious rain. And that's tiptoeing too slow. He's going to hopefully gets out of the way of the cars behind. They are on an out lap. He's going again for another lap. There's still one or two on a hot lap. Michael's gone again. He's definitely not 5 seconds off. He's in the pits, unless, yeah, that's definitely not correct. Good shown here from Ted Head again. No, it was a sprint race at Monza, wasn't it? Where in the race he got his best quality of the season. He's not going to improve this time. He might be to have a dive in the pits or go. No, he's doing another run to set himself up for another lap. Who's he got coming next across the line? It's Big Racky. He's found 3/10. But still struggling to dial in. Now stays P14, down half a second. Michael here has found a second though and needs to keep his composure. Slight loss of traction on the exit coming out of Brooklands. But he needs to take these final couple of corners here are the most crucial. Brutus says he fucked it up again. I think that's him coming out for quali, just like Callum did last week. He's under threat from keeping that provisional pole, pushing the limits, and P3 for Michael. Storming lap from the Sauber driver. This is a lap here from Davy Kim. He's down. He's not going to improve. Portuguese wasn't a lap, but he's just caught in so much traffic. Incredible. As Clen to cross the line. He doesn't improve. Portuguese provisional pole 40.1. 3/10 ahead of Brutus. And Brutus is definitely messed up. Charlie's cheering for Ted Head as well. He's currently in P3. I'm just starting his final lap now. Quali is over. So whenever someone crosses the line now, it's all done and dusted. Big Raku will be the first one to finish on track. Gets himself highest P7, 41.3. That isn't enough to take pole in the elite, but it's better than it was. I reckon Ted Head's potential pole, we shall see. He's currently P3. Can Michael get himself higher than P4? Round turn 16 of Village. Again, a little loss of traction. You see how much he's pushing, but I think he's diving in the pits on the line that he's going. So that's Michael done. Cat's next. He's found over a second. How much will that gain him? P3 for Cats. Meow, meow, motherfucker. In quali. But I think there's going to be plenty of drops down the order. Cat Timis is disqualified. What can Davy Kim do? P8 ahead of Big Racky. We've got the Ferraris next. Cleanse ahead. Is he going to obstruct his teammate? Portuguese extends his time 39.7. That's jumped by Adamaco. 39.6. Luckiest has jumped ahead of him. 38.8. These times are dropping like horse pants. Benji P7. West will start from the back. Ted Head P2. Jumped by Callum, who's on the front row. Next is Theo. Theo will start P12. He's not liking the rain. Katamis is invalidated. So it's a pole for Luckiest. And it's right to the wire. Callum says he crossed the line for his final run with 4 seconds to go. Time to perfection. But Luckiest takes pole by 8/10. Incredible. Callum P2, Ted Head and Almaco teammates on row 2. Portuguese and Brutus 5th and 6th. Cat 7th. Benji 8th. P9 for Michael and Glenn round off the top 10. Keezer, Ted Head taking elite pole as well. Incredible. 11th for Keezer. Theo 12. Davy Kim 13th. Raki 14th. 15th for Katamise. And Wesker will be starting from the rear. Whoa. The rain always throws up some surprises. And that quali at the end, it was pinging and it's gone to a dry race. It looks like it's going to be. Oh yeah, Terry says that Callum could have been at the back if he did nail that lap, and it shows that you have to get that one in, and he stuck with the pressure. Katamise fucked his last lap, which we saw with him invalidating. Drivers now just sorting out their strategies and their setups. I think by the sounds of it, pre-race, a one-stop is possible, but it's so tight. We saw punches last week at the regular Silverstone. I think majority of drivers will be doing a two-stopper. I think for those trying to fight all up and down the grid, it's going to be a two-stop, which undercut is powerful. So those looking to jump in a little bit earlier, take that risk, get that jump into that clean air, will be taking that advantage. Those that are watching, let me know your thoughts on who will finish on the podium. I'm gonna go. Terry's lover says he loves Terry. Gay! Ha! Gay! I'm gonna go for Luckiest. I'm gonna go for Luckiest to get his first win of the season. Yet to get a podium, which is incredible from Luckiest. So I'm gonna get him to get pole. I think Callum's going to get P2. Yeah, you're a woman because you put your penis between your legs. Goodbye, horses. And I go Adamaco P3. Lennon. Hello, Lennon. Getting some tips. I reckon Callum will win. He loves Silverstone. He does love Silverstone, but it's the other way around. Some good pace by the Alpine driver, who will lead us round the formation lap of Silverstone Reverse. It is, of course, the home of Aston Martin, which Lennon represents. Where both drivers, David Kim and Katamise, near the rear of the grid, and will look to try and work their way up the order. I think it's a medium hards. Wesker starting on the hards, doing a longer stint. Davy Kim starting on the softs, which are only going to last about 5 laps. So really tricky strategy from him. But everyone else starting on the mediums. It's with this way round. It's a really really tricky on the right front, going around those fast left-handers of ones like Stowe and Cops and Abbey. So like Len says, you need to nurse the tyres, and those that do that will come a cropper, or come to the cream of the crop. Double cream. Luckiest leads us round this 5.8 kilometre anti-clockwise circuit, 18 corners, 10 to the left, 8 to the right. There's an 88% chance of a safety car, which we didn't see one last week. Will we see one this week? There's a potential two-stopper. Well, we're going to be losing around 20 seconds a pit stop, so you can mix up the order. Luckiest, I've had Callum on the front row. Ted Head and Adamaco teammates side by side. Let's hope they stay well away from each other. Ted Head getting pole for the elite, so good run for him. Portuguese P5, Brutus P6 with his teammate Sat Katz behind him. Benji P8, P9 for Michael, and Glenn rounding off the top 10. Got himself a couple of poles over the last couple of races, podiums. Keys Geezer, Theo P12, he'll be looking to work his way through the grid. Davy 13th, get some points, my mate. Braki 14th, Katamis 15th, 16th for Wesker at the rear. A guy who loves the rear. They're all going to be fighting like a game of hungry hippos. Everyone's in their slot. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave that British flag, because it's lights out and away we go. And it's a good launch off the line from Luckiest. Callum is Luckiest has had a massive launch, under threat from the Visa Card drivers. Inside is Ted Head on his teammate. They're side by side, but Ted Head stays ahead. Bit of adjusting for positions, but a great start from Davy Kim up to P10. On the outside, Stowe of Theo. Glenn is the biggest loser, and Keezer both back at the rear, but no massive damage. Adamako's jumped ahead of his teammate. As we see Theo retake the position on Davy Kim, ahead of Beckett's and Maggots. It's tight. It's tight round there. Hard to overtake as Ted has lost a couple of positions. Portuguese and Cats jumping up the order already. Ted has got slightly offline. And the other drivers are capitalising as he goes off there. Oh, look at that. Was that Theo drifting in the grass? And as I mentioned in quali, there's no runoff areas like you do on normal cops. As Brutus ahead of Ted Head now. Haas drivers making early moves on lap 1. We kept this train all the way down as Big Racky side by side with David Kim as the inside of Aintree. Oh, maybe he could have got his wings sliced off there and pulled out. It's David Kim. He's just he's drifting off and hit the wall. He's lost his wing and he's going to have to make an early pit stop. Thankfully he's right near the pit lane, but he caught himself on the curb, lost control as Ted Head jostling for position with the Haas of Brutus has just gone slightly deep. Now Ted is slightly deep and he's side by side with Theo. Benji just dropping back a bit. Davy Kim into the pits. Italian hand gesture for Davy Kim. Speed in the pit lane. Come on, Davy Kim. How's he out already? Oh. What's even gone on there? How's he speed? Or is he corner cutting? I don't know. What's happening with Davy Kim? He's having a mare. Callum's taking the lead of the race ahead of Lucky's. Now DRS is active as Portuguese jumps ahead of Adam Acco, and Theo ahead of Ted Head. Davy Kim, I don't know what's happening with him as Michael's lost a couple of positions. DRS is a big threat. Tried to turn in on Keys. I didn't see him on the inside of Brooklands. What's Davy Kim doing? Come on, my guy. He's got a wing. He's got some hot tyres. Needs to get himself around the order. What are you doing, Dave? What are you doing, Dave? If you stop on track, you're in trouble. Fastest lap there from Callum, who's now taking lead. But we're under threat from DRS with the likes of Luckiest. Portuguese, Adamaco, both the Hasses. This train still content. It's all the way down to Davy Kim. Will anyone be able to break free and take control? As Callum stayed ahead of Luckiest for now. That'll be coming out of Cops where the DRS will be active. Portuguese all over the back of Luckiest. Portuguese absolutely flying. And it's really hard to overtake unless you get better traction. And it's as you were for now. No one managing to make a move on this lap. Clens just fell out of DRS. It's not what he wants to do. Davy Kim has now sped in the pit lane. I'm retired. There's still 0 points for the Aston Martin driver. What's your problem, Davy Kim? Glenn will have to try and get back into that DRS range. Callum still leads us round. And just controlling the race for now. This front four slightly broken away from Katz, the elite driver. It's proving to be quite of a task to make an overtake as well. Oh, big Raki! Coming round turn 2. Has then found himself down into P15. Was that a nudge or was it loss of traction? Only the steward's room will know. Exchange of places for the Hasses. Katz releases Brutus, give him the opportunity to join us at the back of the train, pull him along. As the front four have broken free. Benji's just a bit adrift of Ted Head. As, oh no, Brutus has gone wide at Copse. He's lost control round Copse corner. Hit the wall, it's got a damaged wing. His teammate as well, it's all gone wrong for Haas. As Cat was the one that went wide at Copse. Oh. Not gone well for the Haas drivers. Portuguese has got himself ahead of Luckiest and up to P2. And it's all over the back of Callum. He's stuck with him more than the pages of a teenager's porn mag. And if anyone, well, I think any of this front four will be big threat to Callum. Theo a couple of seconds behind. Up to P5 now, the Mercedes driver. Not the best of quali. Did not like the wet conditions, but has found himself out of any incidents and up to the 5th spot, which I think he'll be quite happy with. And if they're all jostling a bit ahead, he'll close that gap, which he's just gradually knocking down. Wesker up to P8. Again, avoiding the incident and on the alternate strategy. Right on the gearbox of his Div 2 colleague, whatever you want to call it. Fellow Div 2 representative as Benji goes on wide into the grass, and that'll hamper him going down to Luffield. It goes on the defence on the inside, but Wesker on the outside. But Wesker on the inside of Brooklands. Could there be a brilliant overtake from the hit Sauber? Oh, as Benji goes wide. Still got good run down to Aintree, but Wesker's just ahead. We'll try the switch back on the inside of Loop. As Wesker's got the position. Did he leave him enough space? As Portuguese and Adam, same strategy, early pit stop. Getting off these mediums. Will he look to go onto some hard tyres? Or are they going to a second set of mediums? Well, hard to Portuguese. Adams jumping into his box now, and hard for him as well. Ted Head, Benji, Keezer. Hopefully Ted Head wasn't impacted too much. Double stacking. But looking to do an undercut. Callum's broken a gap away from Luckiest. I won't be surprised if those pair jump into the pits. Callum does clean air. He might do 1 or 2 extra laps. As we see Keezer and Brutus both in as well. Jumping on the hard, so it's a medium, hard, medium strategy for these, I reckon. Although, what have we got? Maybe a medium, hard, hard, you know. Maybe that's the way to go. Theo closing the gap on the Alpine driver. He's gained 3 tenths on him already in a couple of corners. Oh, Luckiest tyres wearing. Academy's running P5. Oh, we see the McLaren go in or go round again. He's going round again. Same as Luckiest. Well, we see Theo go in. So no, they're all going for another lap. Thinking that they've got enough wear in their tyres. Michael is going in though. Different strategy to his teammate. Oh, Clen. And Cat's in as well. We'll see where Portuguese comes round. He'll come and overtake the ones in the pits. There's the one that's taken advantage of an undercut, some fresh air. And there's already got a 3-second gap between him and Adamako. Head's 7.5 seconds behind his teammate, so he was held up slightly in the pit lane, which will put his challenge for the elite win under threat. At the moment, Big Raki is leading the way in that sense, but is yet to pit. Yellow flag. It was a quick one. It was a flash. As Ted Head and Benji Boy all over him like a rash, like scabies. Yeah, Callum and Lucky is going again. Surely they're not going to do a one-stop. As we see Theo in the pits, and oh, Theo! Oh, Theo! Italian hand gesture, my guy. As Portuguese, you can see he's absolutely flying on those fresh tyres. Provisional fastest lap. He'll get the jump on the likes of Callum and Luckiest, but they're definitely going to be trying to do a one stop as much as possible. Keys is just coming round. Club. Theo just come out just ahead of him. And a good second behind Benji. Benji try and give him a bit of a slipstream and we're to hold him up. Benji struggling to get past Head, who's actually broken away from DRS from the Mercedes. We'll see a little bit of team play here. Benji getting out of the way of his teammate who's just come out of the pits. Give him a bit of DRS. Let him past at Luffield. Good team play there from the Mercedes. I love team play. Those that watch regularly know. Katami's still going. Front five, the only ones yet to pit. Are they all trying to do a one-stop? Now it'll be incredible to see how their tyre wear is being managed. As we see Big Raki drifting round turn 2. He'll see the Ferrari of Portuguese who's got a whole pit stop on him. But this is for position. If the likes of those front five are trying to do a one stop. Portuguese is flying. Callum still in control. Just pull an advantage even further from Luckiest. Wesker running P3. Incredible job from the stand-in Div 2 driver. Looking to potentially do a one-stop as well. Maybe just trying to test it out for his Div 2 race as we see Portuguese make the overtake at Luffield with the aid of DRS on Big Raki. Wasn't held up too much. And next up for him is Katami's as Theo on the inside of Ted Head. Again with DRS at Luffield. It's the place to make the overtake. Oh no, Portuguese. He's messed up. At loop. Has cost him a couple of positions. I don't think he was close to anybody as Big Raki now decides to pit. Is the one stop possible? Can you do 16 laps on hards? Portuguese now stuck behind Adamako. And he's no easy one to overtake. Adamako won't let him past at all. He's on 2 seconds behind. Big Rocky comes out at the rear. Callum's absolutely flying. 5 seconds behind Lucky's. Lucky's surely got to pit now. His tyres are definitely not where he wants them to be. We'll jump back on with Portuguese and Adam as they go around Copse. DRS open for the Ferrari. Not close enough to overtake Adam. He plants his car absolutely perfectly. Not close enough for the Ferrari to overtake yet. Adam managing Portuguese for now as Cats racing Clen. Cats and Brutus making that big mess up a few laps ago. As we see Weskin now in the pits, getting off the hards. Weskin's definitely on a two-stopper. He's not going to do 15 laps on the mediums. So he's definitely feeling like it's all about the two-stop. Adam and Portuguese go through in situ again. It's all about this front three then. Maybe one or two laps on the mediums. But surely their tyres are just not that great. Portuguese all over the back of Adamako, through back Beckett's and Maggots. You can see he's even closer than he was last time. He should have a better run out of Copse. Depends on the dirty air. Goes wide though. Turned in too early at the apex. Couldn't turn his car in enough, and go deep into the grass. Managed to keep it under control though, and Adam's current P4 is maintained. As we jump with Michael, looking to make an overtake on Giza, who's got DRS as well. Michael having a look on the outside of Luffield. Defended well from Giza. But Michael on the inside of Brooklands is side by side on the run down to Aintree. Michael's nose is just ahead. Giza's not giving it up, but he has to slot behind. Brilliant driving from both, as both Callum and Lucky is now in the pits. Katames takes the lead of the race in Div 1. There's a high chance of a puncher coming though. Callum's just coming out the pits now and has been overtaken from Adam and Portuguese. It's all about if they can make their tyres last to the end of the race. Callum's come out ahead, just ahead of Theo. Luckiest is stuck in the pits and coming out in a bit of a battle. Just ahead of Benji. I think he'll be thankful for that. But we're under threat immediately from DRS. With a train of cars behind him. There's Michael with Benji going through Beckett, through Chapel, leaving each other plenty of room. Very brave, but Benji stays just ahead. Oh, Michael! Where are you going, Michael? Oh my Christ! I think he forgot to steer. I suppose it depends how you manage your tyres. I don't know if it's something to do with Michael's wheel, but that was not normal. Portuguese is now taking the lead of the race ahead of Katames. Katames on the slow tyres and surely will not hold up Adam. Katames slows down, lets Adam go as he goes into the pits. Maybe could have got out of the way a little bit sooner. Josh says that the tyres surely couldn't last for a one-stopper. We shall see. There's 3 drivers attempting it. And I think, I don't know, 3 drivers are attempting it. Callum, Luckiest, and Katames. Katames has ended up in P14. So he stayed out way too long. and shows how good the undercut is. So Portuguese leads the race. Adam in P2, just within a second. They've got 7 seconds on Callum in P3. They're both going to have to do another pit stop. Will Callum? He's got Theo with him, who pit 4 laps earlier. But Theo in a brilliant position. Can he make his tyres last? I really, really doubt it. If he's stuck in the dirty air of Callum, and that will mean he has to take his 10 seconds penalty. I'm just with Portuguese for now, as we'll jump on this battle for P7. We've got a train of Benji, Kiza, Katz and Wesker. A bunch of Div 2 with Katz in the middle, and Clen's joined the party in the Ferrari as well. You can see just behind Katz having a look on the inside as we see luckiest. No, it's Ted Head in the pits. Oh, Ted Head sped in the pit lane. Ted Head's been an absolute clown, and his chances of a race win are probably out the window. As Katz looking, weaving, trying to get around the McLaren of Kiza, both on a similar strategy. As they can see, luckiest in just slightly in the distance, but luckiest on those fresh tyres, looking to close the gap on Callum, and Theo is still over 7 seconds behind the front two, but on different strategies. Katz, oh, little snap of oversteer from Kiza. Katz is on the prowl on the inside of Luffield, and it's a great overtake from the Haas driver. Gets slightly boxed in by Benji, which puts Kiza under threat from Wesker. Wesker trying to do the switchback. Oh, brilliant overtake from the Sauber. Kiza went offline, and Wesker took the opportunity and got himself up to P8. Started by a brilliant overtake from Katz, and Wesker, brilliant driving. There's Clen. Trying to take an opportunity on Kiza as well, but Kiza's just settled himself back in line. As you see, Big Racky as well, and Brutus. This is going to be a brilliant battle for P6. We're still yet to see another round of pit stops as well. And this is going to be a climax of the ages. And just getting himself another penalty, so won't help his finishing position. Wesker just going slightly wide, just throwing his car around the exit of Beckett's and Maggots. Everyone managing to keep their car on track. You can see how many people have been mowing the lawn. It's like someone's drunk trying to do a tennis court. Whoa! And we see Racky lose control round Woodcote. Has to let Brutus go through, and did well to keep it handling of his car. Struggling with his traction. Oh, Portuguese is sped in the pit lane as him and Adamaco go in for their final pit stop. Now that will not help his podium chances, as Callum and Thea both go through P1, P2. Thea, of course, has got that pit lane penalty as well. Lucky's P3 in that open air. Will take his opportunity for a podium. As Wesker leading the way side by side with Katz. As a brilliant overtake from Katz, retaking his position. Up to P4 now for the elite driver, leading the way. We'll have to pit again, of course, but a great show from the Haas. Absolutely loves this track, got P2 last season. As Wesker with DRS. Going down to Chapel, up to P4 now. Div 2 starting from the rear as well. It's good showing from him. Puts promising signs for his next race, which follows after at 9 p.m. UK. Oh, Cat's just getting a better exit of Cops. Kieser's pit and Benji of pit as Portuguese making a great overtake on Brutus. His teammate just ahead of him, who'll surely get out of the way and let him past. Glenn just moves out of the way. Brilliant team play. And will slot back into Portuguese's slipstream and try and hold up Brutus as much as possible. Again, absolutely lovely. Simply lovely. Portuguese is released. And next chases the Cats and Wesker battle as Brutus is able to get past his Glenn in the pit lane. Will have to serve his 10 seconds. Jump back onto the front two on lap 17 of 26. Theo surely has to pit again. He won't be able to do another 9 laps on these tyres. It's how Callum can navigate his to the end of the race. He, of course, has got open air, so that will help him. But many drivers just saying that the tyre wear is incredible, and it's definitely a 2-stop. Raki and Adam exchange places. Adam Mako making an overtake with DRS down to Chapel and got himself up to P7, following the likes of Portuguese, who managed to get past Cats just ahead of Cops and managed to turn his car in just in time. Brilliant racing, and Portuguese knows that a potential podium, a potential race win. Oh no, it's not. It's not because he's got that 10-second, but I suppose he's going to be just trying to pump in the laps. Weaves round Wesker, who doesn't hold him up either. He's probably shouted down in voice chat to him, "Move out the way, bitch." Whoa, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. And he's got himself P4, and will just try and push as hard as he can and try and minimise the damage. Takes provisional fastest lap. Every point matters in the challenge for the championship. Portuguese is currently running P4 in Div 1. He's about 100 points behind Callum. Of course, he's been missing a few weeks, but the more he tries to fight and finish ahead of Callum, the smaller that gap will get. And there's only about 60 in the Platinum division between those two, so if he stays for the remainder of the season, we're on race 8 out of 13, so plenty of races to go. It's still all to play for. Those that don't know, first time watching, as Michael actually is in the pit, coming out of the pits for his final pit stop onto the mediums for a final run. How we work is we have 2 divisions, and each division is split into 2 championships, the top 10 and the bottom 10. In this one is the Platinum 10 and the Elite Championship. So effectively there is a Div 1 championship as Theo goes into the pits. Don't speed and get another one. Good guy. There's 3 championships, so Div 1, a Platinum Championship and an Elite Championship, all to play for. As Luckiest goes through. Portuguese right on the back of Luckiest as well. He's come from nowhere. As Wesker is still ahead of Adam. I wonder if Wesker will hold Adam up that much. As Portuguese will have DRS down the hanger straight. Cats and Maki all pitting as well. As Adam, brilliant overtake ahead of Chapel on Wesker. Again, I don't think Wesker held him up too much. Knows that it's not his battle. Cats and Raki coming out P12, P13. So Ted Head's currently leading the way in the Elite Championship then. And P8. As Donald his pit stop's got 8 seconds on Theo behind him. All his 4 challengers are at the rear of the grid. So it's actually a good showing here from Ted Head, keeping himself out of trouble now. Although, does he have that? He does have that 13-second penalty, actually. So, if he can get that gap between him and Katz, which Katz on from fresh tyres, Katz potentially winning the Elite Championship. We shall see on the seashore. We've got 7 laps, including this one. Callum leading the way. He's got 10.5 seconds on Portuguese. Portuguese on fresher tyres, but does have that penalty. Adamaco has dispatched Wesker. Brutus in the pits. It's going to cost him a couple of positions as well. Theo goes through. He's got rid of his 10-second penalty. Adam closing the gap on Luckiest, who's got those 4-lap older tyres. It's going to be tricky to the end for the likes of Callum and Luckiest. Trying to do that one stop. And for Katames as well. Good evening, Daft Chips, cheering on Brutus. If you missed it, Brutus, unfortunately, had a bit of mishap coming out of Cops. Lost control of his car and hit the wall. And at the same moment, his teammate Katz went into the grass. Lost his litter tray, decided to soil himself in the grass. Used the gravel instead. He is a league MVP, of course, as Wesker's in. Definitely the definitely two-stopper. I shall drop him down the order. Yeah, they are all, of course, in the Hall of Fame. Been within the league for many, many years. Some even from season 1. Cats. Will he come out just ahead of Wesker? You can see the side by side as Wesker's coming out of the pits. And Wesker does come out just ahead of Katz, who's just given him a nice sniff up the rear. Wesker's is that big, it's a 5-head, not a 4-head, as Katz gets back ahead of Wesker with DRS. Big Raki fighting with Katz for the potential elite win. Raki lead in the championship. Just keeps it just off the grass. He's found it quite tricky this week, Raki. Couple of moments of loss of traction, and we've seen it's Brutus. He's dropped it coming out of Cops again. He's damaged his end plate. Messed up his qualifying by coming out too early. And just can't keep his car on the track. It's got some fresh medium as well, so that'll flat spot his tyres. Portuguese now 8.5 seconds behind Callum. 5 laps to go, including this one. Can Callum nurse his tyres on the one stop to the end? Adam Mako 2.5 seconds behind Luckiest now. Now Luckiest is another one that's got to nurse his tyres. This could be a potential P2 for Adam if he stays within the 10 seconds of Portuguese. But Portuguese is flying. Brilliant overtake from Theo on 10, head up to P6 for the Mercedes. Wasn't happy with his qualifying, didn't like the wet conditions, but another solid week for the Mercedes lad. And he'll be looking to close the gap on Katames, who will be trying to nurse his tyres right to the end as well. You'll see the likes of Katames in Div 2 race following this one in about 25 minutes time. Another fine performance from all the Div 1 boys. No, I'm touching wood, no safety car or VSC. And we'll hope to follow that on in Div 2, but I might be holding my breath. Kiza, another one you'll see in Div 2. Kiza getting the win in Netherlands, of course. And just nearly there as Ted has had to go in the pits. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. He's getting rid of that penalty as well, so it's not going to be a good finish for the Visa Carb driver. Wesker and Katz having a fine battle. Has been joined by the Raki. And it's a train again, all the way up to Benji. Kiza and Benji, a Div 2 battle here, which you'll probably see repeated. Benji will be under threat with DRS. As Kiza can come round cops without any instant as... Is that Clen? Clen did take Stowe how he wanted to. And just lost himself a bit of time. As Kiza not making most of that opportunity yet. This is going to be a brilliant battle. 2 laps to go. Who's going to just force their way through? Some big points on offer. A little snap of understeer from Wesker. As he's close to Katz. Is he going to be brave and make a move at club? He's not as yet. Oh, as Katz tried to, he just didn't slow his car enough on Kiza. They're on quicker tyres on those mediums. They need to take advantage of them. Big Raki's got a better run from Wesker. They go in situ. Clem's in the pit, so he must have damaged part of his wing, and he's retired in the pits. Oh, Clem! There's 2 laps to go! Oh my Christ! Callum on the penultimate lap and looked after his tyres absolutely brilliantly, as we see Wesker and Katz exchange positions at Luffield. And I think we're going to be jostling all the way to the finish line, as compatriots Michael and Brutus exchange places as well. Brutus just not having a great day, as Kiza jumping Katz as well. That Katz being put down. It's going to be stuffed, especially if Big Raki gets past him as well. It looks like Katz just sticking with Kiza. We keep one eye on Adamako here. Penultimate lap. This is for position. He's just over that 10 seconds and needs DRS to pull him under. Portuguese has been pushing like might to try and get himself on the podium. This is for a podium. He's got a couple of chances to overtake as Brutus in the pits. Oh, he's been struggling. He's got damaged wing, going on some softs. Going for that fastest lap as Katz gets past Kiza again ahead of Chappell. But it's going to be tight for this podium. I think if Callum can get his tyres to the end, Luckiest must be struggling, as Callum has started the final lap of Silverstone Reverse. And we'll keep an eye. And Theo has caught up to Katamies as well, who's another one trying to look after those tyres. Showing that a one-stop is possible, but I think most of these drivers have been struggling. Theo does get past Katamies. He doesn't defend that too hard. Up to P5 for the Mercedes. This has got to be overtake for Adamako. Going around Cops then. Raki jumping Keezer. Keezer's in the grass. Going round Abbey. A mistake on the start of the final lap. You won't be doing that too often. Can Adam make a move? Lucky's defending the inside of Luffield. Leaves Adam just enough room, but Adam should have better traction on those fresher tyres. Adam on the inside of Brooklands. Brilliant driving from the pair of them. And Adam's got himself ahead. Cat's back ahead of Wesker as we jump on Callum. Big congratulations. Callum takes the race win at Silverstone reverse. He'll be gutted if he didn't get that. Portuguese will come home across the line P2, but has it 10 seconds. Will Adam get himself up to P2? He's 11 seconds behind, so he won't. So Portuguese will take P2. Adam will get himself on the podium P3. Lucas will miss out on his first podium of the season, but great battle to the end and did well to nurse his tyres on that one-stopper. Theo will come next. And great drive from the Mercedes following disappointing qualifying. But some good points and a good finish again from Theo. Katamy's P6, Div 2 driver, showing some brilliant speed and some fine form this season. He's absolutely loving the game at the moment. Now this train behind, Benji will come home P7, but will get jumped on penalties. So Katz P7, Wesker P8, Raki P9, Keezer 10, Benji will come home P11. It shows penalties does pay. Michael crossing the line P12, hasn't been his greatest week. Ted Head has not navigated Village too well. And what it was great qualifying has not ended the best race for him. And has ended at the end. Theo finished 2 in the row. He's absolutely chuffed. And absolutely loves Silverstone, just like this guy Callum, giving us a bit of a show and dangling his willy. Takes his trophy. Fastest lap does go to Portuguese, who was absolutely flying. Game gives driver of the day to Wesker. John says, good race. Good eye, John, and hope you're ready for your race. Most overtakes goes to Theo. He was absolutely storming. So Callum comes home P1, Portuguese P2, and fastest lap with a 28.1. Adam Mako P3 and gets himself on the podium. Great show and great overtake on the final lap. Luckiest just missed out with that one stop, but again a fine show from the pole sitter. Theo P5 from P12 and Katamy's P6 from 15th. Again some brilliant overtaking from those pair. Katz was as he was. Wesker P8 from the back. Big Raki P9. So Katz takes P1 on the elite. Raki P2, and Michael will take the third spot. Ted Head 13th, Brutus 14th, and Clen and David Kin both DNFing. What could have been for those that didn't have those 10-second penalties for the likes of Theo and Ted Head, who had to serve them in the pits. But what a great race that was. Some brilliant battles. Some wonderful driving, some funny mishaps, but it always happens. And next week we're on to race 9. Race 9 already, I can't believe it. The season's flying. And you will be joining us at Austria, where it's always guaranteed overtakes. And cannot wait. Thank you for joining us. If you want to see more, we're heading off to Div 2 straight after this at 9 p.m. UK. My name's Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.